Okay, so I am back looking at my automated gradebook, and this is where we're going to get into the formulas. So just a reminder, I have the student names in column A, and then I actually have the student email addresses in column AB. I actually did calculate the student email addresses, so we didn't have to type them in. My whole thing is to automate as much as possible, but you can always just put the student email address in there. So I'm not going to talk about that. Oh, I accidentally clicked somewhere and changed my formula. You got to watch that. So right now what this does, let me just press enter here. Get out of this. Okay. So right now what this does is it goes, and for any of the ones that are white, it is going to the form and looking it up. So getting started with Edmentum, it is going to look for Thomas Allen. It's going to come over here and find Thomas Allen among these by the email address. And let me tell you how that logic works, okay? I clicked on the wrong tab. So I'm going to go to Thomas Allen and you'll see this formula. This formula is long and complicated. It's really a case of me figuring out different parts of the logic and adding on to it. So I'm going to start from the very beginning. So let's start with the index. So what the index formula does, and this is really where the secret sauce is, the index formula turns this section into an index, and then it goes to this section of the form and looks for a match, okay? So match says that AB, that's our student name, is what it's looking for, actually our student email. And since we automatically collect emails, I know these are going to be right. The students cannot type them in a different way because I'm collecting the emails using the Google form. So their Google email will be there, and it's going to match those two things together. So in this forms sheet, it is looking for the student's name, which is AB. And it's just looking for a match, okay? And then it is indexing whatever is in column C, which in this case happens to be their score. So if I go back here, you'll see that column C is their score, but look at the score. So there are lots of things you could do. You could do the calculation here and turn this into a percentage. And that might be cleaner, but I didn't think of that at the time, so I made this much more complicated formula, okay? So this is a fraction, and if I pulled a fraction over here, I wouldn't get what I needed for my grades because I need a percentage. Okay, so now that I've looked up the value and I've gotten this fraction, I have to do something with this fraction. So now I'm adding on a split. And this is split, so this is taking that root formula where it looks up what is in column C. So all this is doing, this part is just saying what's in column C that matches this student's name. We want you to look it up, okay? And then it is splitting it. So it's going to split it at the forward slash, and it's going to pull the first value, okay? And then I'm going to do some math. This is simple, basic division. I'm going to divide what's on the top, the numerator, to use a math term. And now I'm going to index again, and I'm going to split, and I'm going to divide the denominator. And this is going to give me a decimal. Of course, I don't want a decimal. So now I need to add on even more to this formula. So I'm taking that root formula and just adding on the instructions to tell it, I'm using the function text, and I'm telling it to turn it into a percentage. So it's going to take that mathematical calculation and turn it from a decimal to a percentage. Okay, and then the last part is something that I pretty much do with almost every formula that I write, is to add the if it errors. So if it errors, and in this case it's going to error whenever the student hasn't actually done the quiz yet. So it says if it errors, right? And this is the part we've already done. It's going to give a 0. And that's that simple wrap of if error, and then you put your whole formula, you put a comma, do this, and close it, okay? So this is the whole formula. This is taking this and dividing it by this, turning it into a percentage, and if it errors, it gives them a 0. So you can see down here that this student has a 60, but they haven't done this one yet, so they get a 0. So you can very easily see which forms they haven't done because they're going to be flat out zeros, I guess, unless a student did a form and got every single question wrong, in which case that would still be a 0%, not a 0, 0. So now we have our percentages right over, and when I add a new student to this class, all I need to do is drag this formula down. So let's pretend like I got a new student, insert one row above, and we're going to call him, since we're at Frederick Douglass, we'll call him Frederick Douglass, right? And all I'm going to do is come and wherever I have the white section, I need to pull it down because it's a formula. The reason why I made some of the sections gray is because those are the parts where the teacher those are teacher graded assignments, basically. So this class is pretty much half forms, half teacher graded assignments, the way we have it set up right now. Pull those down, and then once Frederick Douglass starts doing work, he will start getting values. Now, I just realized I forgot to do something that I do the rest of the time. Oh no, it comes out okay. It didn't error. I don't have error on this average formula, okay? So this is just a simple average formula. You can look that one up. If you need help with this, let me highly recommend Gemini. So if I go to Gemini, Google Gemini is now included 100% free for education. I think they're really trying to get people to use it. I can come back, and this is my whole formula. I can go to Google Gemini and say, explain this formula. So really anyone can do this. Even if this is making your head hurt, Gemini will explain it to you, okay? Not only that, but I can say I want to change it so that instead of being for the Edmentum form, I want to change it so that it's pulling it from the learning experience. Okay, so I could say modify, and honestly, I myself would just go in and paste over Edmentum with learning experience, but this is a way that you can do it if this starts to confuse you. So modify this formula to use the tab learning experience instead of Edmentum. Right? Press enter. It's going to give me the new formula, and now it has learning experience in there instead of Edmentum. I can copy this formula out and use it, right? Also, pay attention to where things are. Now, Google is very consistent. If you're collecting email addresses, your form, the first 3 columns will always be the timestamp, the email address, and the score. So this should stay consistent and not be something you have to modify. I hope this helps you all, and you all can use this to make your grade book. Next week, I'm going to be showing how I do the student grade lookup. I hope you have a great week, and I'll be seeing you all soon at the collabs. Bye-bye.